We'll work with partners around the world, including particularly Muslim communities, to offer a better vision and a path of development and opportunity and tolerance, because they are and must be our partners in this effort.
That was President Obama moments ago saying, actually emphasizing the importance of our close relationship with the world, particularly the Muslim world. Meanwhile, just yesterday, Islamic extremists carried out yet another major attack at an airport, an international airport with 40 million annual visitors, killed 13 foreign nationals. Turkey observed the day of national mourning today after that triple gun suicide bombing, 42 dead, 239 wounded. Authorities are still working to identify the attackers, but they know what organization they were with. Joining me now, Dr. Herb London and Captain Chuck Nash, also Aramesh. And I want to start with you, Captain Nash, because you were on with me last night. I really appreciate it. You walked us through it brilliantly. Now that we've had it about 24 hours to assess the whole thing, what could have been done differently, and what's the overarching message here?
Well, I think the Turks actually did a pretty good job. The double security perimeter around there actually engaged the guys before they got in past the security checkpoint. But one of the things we're going to have to look at, Charles, is these guys have moved on beyond the dirty, volatile kind of explosives that Dabiq magazine or Inspire magazine teaches you how to make online in your bathroom. This obviously was Semtex C4, or some kind of military-grade explosive, because they were able to fit it all in a vest and it had tremendous power. So in the summertime, obviously, the security guys, they're looking for people who are inappropriately dressed, as these guys were, because they had semi-automatic weapons under their jackets and they were wearing bomb vests. In the long term, if you want to know what you can do to maybe help, don't use so much glass in airports and don't have these long corridors where blast waves travel. We're going to have to think about how to redesign this, because this threat, Charles, is not going to go away.
Arash, you're a national security and foreign policy expert. President Obama coming out today and re-emphasizing that this is a coalition-led effort that must include our Muslim partners. A lot of people, a lot of finger pointing, though, and people wondering who's going to take the lead on this, because I think that's the main problem. Everyone does agree that everyone should help with the fight, but who should lead the fight?
We have to lead the fight, and there's no doubt about it. The United States not only has an obligation, but we have the resources and the means to lead this fight. There is an element here which revolves around intelligence gathering and intelligence sharing. That's why we need allies. That's why we need not allies in the Western world, but allies in the Muslim world, countries such as Saudi Arabia or other countries that we call allies, Saudi, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, whose citizens have funded much of terrorist operations in Iraq or Syria. Secondly, there's an underlying problem here, the ongoing civil war unaddressed in Syria, and also now this open sectarian wound in Iraq has been sort of unanswered, and we need to address that, because that is now the cause par excellence for recruitment, for training, and pretty much you're looking at a failed state in most of Syria and large segments of Iraq, and that is something that we can't tolerate. But yes, we need to build coalitions, and again, going around and talking about torture as Donald Trump did is exactly what ISIS wants to hear, and that is disastrous and destructive.
Well, Arash, here's the thing. I read this morning where it appears that Erdogan and Vladimir Putin have reopened a line of communications. In fact, perhaps they'll be meeting with each other soon. With ISIS, particularly in Syria, it felt like America felt like Turkey let them down with their large military. Turkey feels like America let them down. In the meantime, you've got Assad backed by Vladimir Putin. Are we in a situation where the enemy of my enemy is my frenemy? And, I mean, how do we coordinate all of these different interests to solving this?
It's a very complicated situation, and these questions don't have three-letter answers. Diplomacy and also military coalitions and intelligence gathering, these are not 3 or 4-letter words. These are complicated issues. But here's the thing. For good two to 3 years, the president of Turkey because he was so dedicated to bringing down Bashar al-Assad in Syria, did not really crack down on this transit gate through that very airport. A lot of European jihadis and a lot of jihadis from Central Asia flew to Turkey.
There's no doubt about that. I do want to ask Dr. London, though. Dr. London, you wrote the book, The Encyclopedia of Militant Islam. Are they winning or losing?
Well, I think at the moment what has happened is you've seen the metastasizing of this kind of threat. There's not a central command. It's as if you have to look at Afghanistan and Pakistan, you have to look at Libya, you have to look at a variety of countries, including our own. We are engaged in a doctrinal war that will exist over a long period of time. How do you fight a doctrinal war? We learned about that in the Cold War. It does involve dirty tricks. It involves intelligence. Right. There are things that we can do.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Really appreciate your expertise. Now, here's the man himself, Lou Dobbs. Keep it on Fox Business.